On August 8, 2003, I went to see a movie before work with a friend. I decided to take my motorcycle because it was a beautiful day without a cloud in the sky. After the movie, I got on my bike and started home, and that's the last thing I remember. The days that followed, I became more and more aware of the full gravity of my injuries. I had 3 bruises on my brain, 2 cracks in my T-spine, cracked ribs, my left lung had collapsed, I was fighting blood clots and a 105-degree temperature. But the most serious of my injuries was sustained to my right shoulder. Those that witnessed the crash stated that I was rounding the left-hand bend, lost control, and struck the guardrail. After hitting the guardrail, I was ejected off the bike, and instead of landing on either side of the guardrail, I landed right on top of it, on my back. This caused my right arm to be forced behind me very forcefully, severing my subclavian artery and brachial plexus nerves. The ER doctors gave me 16 units of blood. They knew I was bleeding internally, but they didn't know from where. After the break was found in an MRI, my arm was without blood for about 7 hours. The break was bridged with a vein from my thigh. After blood flow was restored, the arm swelled well beyond its compartments. The skin was acting like a tourniquet, and a fasciotomy had to be done, or I was going to lose my arm. Over the next several years, I had numerous surgeries geared to reclaim function and feeling. As a result, I have over 8 feet in surgical scars all over my body. I earned each of these scars, and I never tried to hide them. They are my badges of courage and strength, and I display them with pride. I went to physical therapy 3 days a week and followed my doctor's orders to a T, but nothing was getting me where I wanted to be. My doctor looked me in the eye and said, "You're not going to be a cop anymore, and I think someone should tell you that." My first thought was, you don't think a patient with my injuries can be a cop because I've never been your patient before. You have no idea what I'm capable of. I knew the biggest block was going to be firearms requalification. How can I qualify with only being able to shoot with one hand? Has this ever been done before? Is it even possible? I scoured the internet looking for anyone that was in law enforcement that had a disabled arm or hand, and I found 2. Surprisingly, they were both from Ohio. I contacted them and asked them how they were able to qualify. One officer explained that since he had a documented disability, the department allowed him to shoot all required rounds with his strong hand. This is the only accommodation that I need. I was absolutely confident that I could perform every single function of an officer. I just needed someone to give me a chance to prove myself, to show what I'm capable of. I decided that I would find a way to do every single thing that I wanted to. But knowing what I can do isn't good enough. I needed a way to show police administrators what I can do. I find that it's the assumption I can't do something the most frustrating. I went through the process and I had an in-depth conversation with Chief Goins. I explained to him that I can do everything that his able-bodied constables can do. I just needed a chance. Hire me and allow me to be evaluated by the field training officer. Finally, my dream had come true. I'm back to work in uniform. The biggest challenge of my life was conquered. It was because I put in all the hard work, but someone gave me a chance. I wish I could tell you I always knew I would succeed. I didn't. I had doubts, fears, and setbacks. All I knew was I had to keep going. I believe that everyone possesses the same level of drive and determination as I do. They just have to find it within themselves. Internal dialogue is exceptionally powerful. Look at yourself in the mirror and imagine yourself accomplishing your goals. You can do it, if you choose to. There is no reality, only perceptions. If you perceive yourself as being less, unable, different, awkward, then you will project that outward, and you will be treated that way. If you perceive yourself as strong, confident, courageous, able, then you will be treated that way. I no longer have a disability. I have a Dif-Ability. I can do everything anybody else can do, I just do it differently. I didn't accomplish all these goals on my own.
I met Dave a little over a year ago. I see him here all the time. Always puts in hard work. He's one of the definitely the hardest workers I had, even though he has some limitations. He doesn't necessarily have a handicap, but does have some disabilities due to an injury he received in a motorcycle accident. But he definitely doesn't let that stop him. He definitely pushes through everything he does and doesn't hold back. handicap is more something you're born with versus something as a disability. It's something that you develop due to either an injury or that you have limitations that stop you from doing something. So handicapping is not a disability, and a disability is not a handicap.
Turn around, put your hands on your head. You're on your forehead, walk up. Stop fighting. Stop fighting.
I have Poland syndrome. I wasn't born with the major and minor pectoral muscles in my right side, so my hands are definitely not the same length, and I only have a pinky and a thumb. The purpose of me reaching out to David was to get some ideas on, how he does stuff, because I am, going after my police officer certification, and when I go out to get a job, it's going to be difficult for me because I do have a disability. But, working with David, I got to learn how to reload guns and, how he works on the road. And I know, most people say, if I can do it, they can do it. Well, I know if David can do it, then I can do it because he works with less than me. So it was kind of more of an inspiration, he's my role model. He's somebody I look up to, because I know I can fulfill my dream of becoming a police officer. After meeting David, I don't call what I have a disability, I call it a Dif-Ability, which means I can do exactly what you can do, I just do it a different way.